Well, good afternoon to you. It's Johannesburg, South Africa today, and we've got a group of futurists here today talking about a variety of issues. Just for a quick whip around.
I'm Gerd, editor of Mind Bullets and part of the FutureWorld network.
Gerd, Leonhard from Switzerland, the Futures Agency and Futurist.
And Anton, Musgrave, joint CEO of FutureWorld South Africa and a partner of FutureWorld International.
And I'm Jacobsohn. I'm the other joint CEO of FutureWorld and a partner in the international business. And what we wanted to touch on now, we've got lots of different themes between our different organizations, looking at different aspects of how the future is changing. There's one particular one that seems to be very successful at the moment. We've called it naked leadership. And we kind of thought, Doug and I authored this theme some months ago. We thought there's a naked chef and there's a naked scientist, and we were sitting one day and we came across the concept of naked government, and it came, of all places, out of China. Because we came across information about a small rural community that had stopped corruption in their municipality by publishing on the internet all the expenditure that was happening. And when the spotlight of disclosure shone on what was happening, the public officials could no longer steal the money. And we thought, if this could happen in China, which is hardly a free society, then there really is something fundamental happening around the world. And that's where the concept of naked leadership started to
I'm very glad we're not drawing straws for, validating the title.
And of course, the key to this whole idea of transparency is the connectivity revolution. The fact that now everyone is connected, or virtually everyone is connected, and so there is no place to hide anymore.
Yeah. And there's so many themes that flow out of it. I mean, we've talked about trust before. In a connected world, trust moves to a different place. Trust is not what you hide behind the office doors. Trust is now completely open. Trust is how you deal in the marketplace. The marketplace expects to see every aspect of your business, and you as a leader are truly standing naked before the entire marketplace now.
It seems to be a shift, Neil, from the world that we've come from. You often are judged by what you tell the world. And now it's by what the world tells about you.
Exactly.
And that shift has taken place.
And it's also for CEOs and business people and brand managers and people like that, it's also about engaging with the community. It's no good just sending messages out one to many. Now you've got to listen to the crowd as well as involve the crowd in your business, because that's where the future success lies.
We often say it's no longer about marketing to your audience, it's about getting down into the stream of information and marketing with your audience. You have to be part of that flow.
The hard part there is, this issue of controlling the message or controlling the brand.
Yes.
Which is of course an illusion anyway, but this is the illusion that we operate on. So for example, in advertising they talk about earned media, bought media, and owned media. So when you own your website, that you put whatever you want, and then you can buy Google AdWords, or you can buy newspaper ads, whatever. You can do all of these things. But the earned media, what people say about you, you can't control.
Yeah.
And this is the hard part, I think, about this idea of being naked as a company, is that you have to trust the user, the consumer or the partner, to say stuff about you.
And what we're learning from the marketplace is that the market trusts that information much more than they do the official information. I always say to companies that understand that the opinion of somebody you've never met on a TripAdvisor or whatever else it may be, actually carries more weight than a $10 million advertising campaign. Because people want to hear what other people have got to say, rather than what you as the company are saying to them.
What's interesting to me is what we've been teaching about leadership. If you think of what's taught around leadership in business schools, even today, the leading Ivy Leagues of the world, this is a completely different notion to what will qualify a great leader in the world of tomorrow. Because this is not about imposing a will or imposing a product or a message. It's really about the marketplace sharing a message and propagating that message. So it's you being prepared to make yourself vulnerable and expose yourself, and then trusting the unpredictability of the outcome and hoping that it's a good one that you have not much control over.
I think Kevin Roberts from Such and Such has said that nowadays a great leader is not just a director but also a connector.
Absolutely.
And this is, I think it's hard to be both actually, what some people have accomplished. Steve Jobs was obviously more for the director, a tirade, whatever. So that's different, but and that was still successful. But to be a connector is a different skill.
Yes.
And also I think that is a very large dichotomy between the fact that you want to be maybe personally private, but as a business person you're actually naked, because right?
And absolutely, and this idea of control being an illusion. It's an absolute illusion, and not only externally to companies, but also within companies. Having a top-down approach. This is the mission and vision, and the CEO knows best, is actually nonsense in the new world, and increasingly so in the future, where some of the best ideas might come from way down in the organization, and if they're given a chance to be explored, and even some ideas from customers or suppliers, given an idea to flourish, an opportunity to flourish, can actually be a completely unprecedented success.
But a liberating idea. But you're so right that business schools traditionally have taught a different kind of leadership. Very often when we talk about the concept of the end of control, you can actually see the anxiety in the room of business executives saying, hang on, I'm supposed to be in control. And it's making them understand that you can still be, you still have to control the vision, but you have to lead it rather than force it. You can't force it onto the marketplace anymore. The way I try to put it very often is that you have to lead from the center, or you have to lead from the front by being in the center. In the old days, the chief executive was out there untouchable. Now you have to be connected in 360 degrees in the center of your organization and actually lead from the center.
Neil, I was told that my first appointment as a CEO, a mentor came to me and said, Anton, you'll have to realize that from now on you will be very lonely.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you think about it, that's totally counter to what you're suggesting, is that when you're in the middle of an employee base and a client and customer base, you're actually never lonely. But you're never being more exposed, so you're quite vulnerable.
But it's what Doug said. The old style of leadership is you assume that because you're the leader, you must now make all the decisions and you must have all the wisdom. And the new style of leader says there's wisdom all around me, and it's my ego doesn't supersede what needs to be done.
Right. Again, it's not. Although there are threats involved, it's also opportunities, because you can use that whole wisdom of the crowd, the power of the crowd, to elevate your business. It's not necessarily purely a negative
that ego thing is interesting because it's such a powerful issue in business. And the modern Buddhists talk about it very beautifully. They say it consists simply of three words, you and me. And the world we come from, the you and the me word have been dominant. And the world we're shifting towards is a world where the and word is actually much more dominant. And it's all about those connections and the engagement and so forth.
Value arises from the and, not from the you and me.
Precisely.
No, absolutely right.
I think one of this image, I think Don Tapscott talks about when you have to be more naked as a company, then you have to look good when you come out of the water. And this is a consequence, the fact that we're more naked, we have to actually look better.
Correct. Take some care about what you look
like.
like.
I always say that it's basically perpetual WikiLeaks for every company. Whatever you would try to hide, especially banks, for example, banks, insurance company, governments, politicians, whatever you're trying to hide is going to come out. So you have to take care of being transparent in the first place. For example, many airlines, hotel companies, they're trying to hide flaws. It's better to actually talk about the flaws when they come out and take them in. This is a very common problem on TripAdvisor.
Yes,
this whole debate about, you can't be perfect all the time, and you can apologize. Like Zappos is a great example of the shoe company, how they've incorporated, and Amazon in general is a great example of how they have incorporated that being naked as a company and giving delight to their customers.
And in fact, what they've done, Gerd, is made that an attribute of their brand and their relationship with the marketplace, as opposed to something which they pass over to the legal department or the risk department. This is a real central strategic advantage as opposed to some damage control.
One of the trends agencies talks about what they call flawsome marketing, as opposed to awesome marketing. And it's the idea that if you're prepared to admit that there are flaws in what you're doing as a company, suddenly you have a human face. And people are much more inclined to warm to you because they see the company as being human rather than this cold, removed, aloof edifice. So flawsome marketing is one of the concepts of the future.
I like that.
And these are some of the lessons that the banks and the oil companies have to learn in the future.
Very expensive, so if you take the oil industry, what the cost was of remedying the leak in the Gulf before it happened was $100 million or something like that. But the cost consequent upon not repairing it in advance was billions.
It's a small spill in a very big ocean.
So where can people find out more about this concept? Do you have a
yes, indeed. You can go to FutureWorld.org, and there you'll see a tab marked themes, and all those themes are listed over there, and details of what it's all about, summaries of the themes, and also who's able to deliver these themes, either as a workshop or as a keynote presentation.
Okay.
And there are also plenty of mind bullets that touch on the naked leadership theme. which you can also read on futureworld.org or mindbullets.net.
And I'm glad to say we keep our clothes on when we deliver it.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.